Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. So, more Tyson Fury, Usyk. But look, let's understand something. Tyson Fury and Usyk. Look, man, Tyson Fury, is he protecting his own interests? I think so. And to be honest, when it comes to negotiations, nobody cares about it. You know, we as fans, we just want to see him fight. And there's a couple of things I want to talk about. So first, this whole thing about belly, greedy belly, right? A lot of people don't know from where the whole greedy belly insult that's been targeted at Tyson Fury from Alexander Usyk. They don't know from where that derived. So let me go ahead and give you that background, because that has a lot to do with what's going on right now with Tyson Fury and these public negotiations and all the crap that he's been spewing at Usyk. So Usyk had gone to Saudi Arabia, and he and his team were able to reach an agreement to have the undisputed fight between him and Tyson Fury, right? They agreed on as far as the purse Usyk would receive. Now, what I don't know is how much money he was going to receive, but I can't think that it would be anything less than what Usyk made for the AJ fight. And while I'm talking, my understanding is he made like 40, 50 million for AJ. But let me see something, right? Because I want to make sure I tell y'all this right correctly. Because you hear all kind of stuff about the kind of money that they made. But let's find out. Okay, right here. Let me pull this up. I'm gonna tell you. I may just show you where I'm getting this from. Okay. It says here that Saudi Arabia agreed for 65 million to stage the fight. This was the So it's for 65 million to stage the fight. And let me see how much did it's supposed to be a 50-50 split. Because I keep hearing that Joshua made 80 million, Usyk made 40, 50 million. But all I know is supposedly there was Saudi Arabia agreed. I'll show you, man. Let's see. I can make this big, right? So people think I'm making stuff up. Let's see. Right here. Joshua and Usyk reportedly completed the biggest ever sight deal, with Saudi Arabia agreeing to pay 65 million pounds to stage the fight. Now, the thing about that, right, is it's supposed to be a 50-50 split. But with the pay-per-view sales and all the other modes of revenue that came into play, when you think about that, that actually bumped the fight purses up exponentially. So we do know that Joshua and Usyk made very good money. So when you think about that, let's say if at the end of the day it came out to about 100 million, 90 million, so you're looking at 40, 45 million a piece, something like that. But I heard it was like 40, 50 for Usyk and like, I don't know, 60, 70 for AJ. Some crazy numbers. But I think it was more around that 40, 45 million, possibly a piece. That being said, Usyk had worked out his deal with the Saudis, to whatever money he was going to get to fight Fury. So that was done. Usyk and his team, they go back to wherever, Ukraine, wherever the hell they went back to. Tyson Fury came down. He came after Usyk had worked out his deal. So now Tyson Fury just had to go to Saudi, work out the deal. Because you remember, the Saudis giving these guys a flat fee. They're not worried about pay-per-view. They're not worried about nothing else. But you come to fight in our country, which is what we want, and let's work out a deal. Fury went over there, and, we hear he asked for 500 million, right? Which I can't say what he asked for. I know that's what he was asking, what he was saying. But Frank Warren did an interview, and this is what blew my mind. Frank Warren said that they went over to Saudi to try to reach a deal for Tyson Fury as far as his purse, and they weren't able to come to an agreement. Now, as a result, Saudis didn't want to do business with Tyson Fury. And let me tell you something. So when you hear Usyk, at first he called him Belly. Now he called him Greedy Belly. It's because Tyson Fury and his team went over to Saudi and were greedy. And they wanted a sum of money that even the Saudis, who are willing to pay $80 million for a fight, $100 million for a fight, ridiculous amounts of money, even they told him, nah, no way. Shot him down. So now that's where the greedy belly comes from. But something else that we need to talk about as well when it comes to Tyson Fury, right? You look at this whole thing, the 70-30 purse split. You know, I think that Tyson Fury bullying Usyk, but I think if you forget about the titles, right? Let's just say there's no titles. And you look at a purse split for a guy like Tyson Fury and Usyk. Who in the UK, who's the bigger draw? Tyson Fury. Without Tyson Fury, there's no big fight and big money. Okay, so 70-30 to me, I agree with it. But at the same time, I think for a champion to have, 3 belts that matter and Tyson Fury to only have one, I think 60-40 is a little bit closer to where it should be. But hey, at the end of the day, boxing is a business. Tyson Fury is a draw. 70-30 is a sweet spot. Usyk didn't have to accept it, just like Ryan Garcia didn't have to accept all those stipulations. But this is where it gets interesting, because now people are talking about Tyson Fury, and they're saying, okay, Tyson Fury, he looks scared to people. I'm going to tell you, I don't think he's scared. I don't. I think Tyson Fury really advocated for the 70-30, because Tyson Fury wants as much money as possible before he decides to call it quits from boxing. There's no way in the world Tyson Fury can get his purse against Usyk for the fight taking place in the UK at Wembley, to get that fight purse anywhere near kind of money he would have made if he would have been reasonable going into negotiation with the Saudis. So when you look at Usyk, Usyk wants to make money, but Usyk is pissed off too, because he lost, just like Tyson Fury lost out. The reason Usyk lost out on millions and millions of dollars is because Tyson Fury didn't do his part, meaning going over there, being sensible, and maybe securing a $50-60 million payday. But instead, you want to go out there and look for 9 figures, right? Absolute madness. So now people are saying he looks scared. I'm going to tell you something. Usyk's smaller. Usyk definitely is not as strong. Why do we need all these stipulations for a guy like Usyk, is what a lot of people are saying. Tyson Fury shouldn't have any problem. He should be able to just get in there and beat him. But you're putting all these stipulations in front of a man that you shouldn't have any problems with. It makes you wonder, what are you doubting? What is it that you're not confident about? But I'm going to tell you this, right? It's got to the point to where Usyk, Tyson Fury comes out with a demand. Usyk just says, okay, belly. Tyson Fury wants all the money. Okay, belly. So it comes to the point where Tyson Fury is looking stupid because no rematch clause. Okay, belly. Tyson Fury is starting to look stupid because what Usyk has done now is said, you know what? Whatever you come up with to try to get yourself out of this fight, I'm going to agree to. And that's where we are with Usyk. Like, there's nothing Tyson Fury can say where Usyk is going to sit here and say, you know what? No, enough is enough. Now, I personally feel that a guy like Usyk and his team should have told Tyson Fury, you know what? Kiss my butt, get out of here. But Usyk has said, you know what? I want legacy. I need that belt. Whatever it takes to get the fight done. This man's trying to get out the fight. But Usyk's not letting that happen. So to me, that's important. Now, when we look at a fight of this magnitude, where you look at a purse split of 70-30, some people are saying they've never seen anything like this. I'm going to tell you, there was a time when Evander Holyfield and Lennox Lewis, they fought. And when trying to make that fight, Lennox Lewis was the B-side. And there were a lot of stipulations. There were a lot of things in the contract. that were in favor of Holyfield, because Holyfield was just a guy at that time, and not Lewis. But Lewis agreed to be in the B side, getting a crap deal to prove that he was the better fighter. And I don't know all the specifics on numbers if it was 70-30, but I do know it was something similar to like what we see happening with Tyson Fury and Usyk. And the negotiation was very similar, and that's a fact. So when you got a guy like Usyk out here who's trying to prove his greatness, it just makes it, I think, hard for a guy like Fury to get out the fight, and easy for a guy like Usyk to make sure the fight stays within his control. And it makes easy for the fight fans to see, you know what, these public negotiations are going on, but we see what's happening. And that's where you've seen a lot of them who were Tyson Fury supporters becoming Usyk supporters, because they're kind of getting tired of his crap. And that's why Tyson Fury is saying basically he's going to stay away from social media, because I really think WBC has got to him, fans have gotten to him, and maybe people on his own team saying, you know what, you need to tone it down. Everyone's talking about the fight. It looks like it's going that direction, but there's no need for that anymore. We're talking about 6 weeks till training, 6 weeks of training till the fight. Just chill out, let's lock in and try to get the fight going. But I'm going to tell you this, right? When it comes to all these hurdles, when it comes to Tyson Fury, I personally think when Usyk says, look, you got to make a donation to Ukraine, I don't think Tyson Fury is going to make that donation to Ukraine. I don't think it's going to happen. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't. I think Tyson Fury is just like, whatever. When he said, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Look, Tyson Fury wants money. He doesn't want to take any of his purse and give it to anyone. Right? And this is why I think Tyson Fury is going to be very careful with what he says. Because you got to watch what you say about what's going on with Ukraine, with the people of Ukraine, and as far as him and not wanting to give that money. If there's anything he wants to say, I definitely don't think he should take it to social media, because there are a lot of people who, I just think that'll just leave a bad taste in people's mouths. And Tyson Fury says the wrong thing about what's going on in Ukraine, the people who are suffering, and as far as that money that Usyk was saying, agree to that, to give this $1 million to the Ukrainian people. But we'll see. But I personally don't think Tyson Fury is going to give anything. I'm going to tell you that right now. Now, the rematch clause. The rematch clause is a big, big deal. Now, for those people out there who are saying the rematch clause with Tyson Fury, they can't understand why he would come and push to not have a rematch clause against Usyk. I'm going to tell you, we got to remember something. Right? Some people don't agree with rematch clauses. Some people think a rematch clause benefits only one fighter. Some people think a rematch clause prevents the first fight from even getting made, because in order to have the first fight, a lot of time in that contract that gets solidified, there's already the plans for the rematch and how that's going to go. And if you can't agree on the rematch, then you can't even get the first fight off the ground. You understand? Normally when you see a fight made and there's a rematch involved, all that's ironed out before they're even thinking about stepping in the ring for the first fight. So as far as when they agree to the negotiation on the first fight, they agree to everything, the specifics on how the second fight's going to go, if there's a rematch. And then everything's firmed up, goes out to the public, got a 2-fight deal, and this is what they're looking at. But Tyson Fury, he doesn't want to get caught up with no damn rematch clause. Y'all remember the whole thing with Deontay Wilder. The reason why they had that third fight is because of a rematch clause. And what Tyson Fury came out and he told Frank Warren, after the Wilder fight, I will never, ever allow myself to be caught up in this damn web of something called a rematch clause. Because Tyson Fury did not want to fight Deontay Wilder a third time. Now, when you look at it from that perspective, you kind of understand Tyson Fury and not wanting to have a rematch clause for Usyk. And And when I think about that, I could understand. But at the same time, when I look at it from the avenue of Tyson Fury just doesn't want to fight Usyk, he's trying to get out of it. That's why he's coming up with this rematch clause thing. So it just depends on how you want to see it. But I definitely think both arguments are fair. One is he's just trying to find a way to get out the fight. And then two is he really doesn't want to get caught up with this whole thing of rematch clause because now he's obligated to have another fight, especially if he blow. Because look, when it comes to these rematches, right? In the first fight, you look at Devin Haney. If you blow somebody out the ring, like what Devin Haney did, even Bivol and Canelo, there was no rematch. Canelo wants one. Bivol blows Canelo out, right? Why have a rematch? You look at the whole thing with Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. No matter what opinion you have, whether it was a clean fight, a dirty fight, whatever, right? The bottom line is Tyson Fury, without taking anything else into consideration, he blew Deontay Wilder out. And you look at that third fight, Deontay Wilder almost got him out of there. It was very competitive and a tough fight. So Tyson Fury doesn't want to deal with that. But at the same time, I guess Tyson Fury is betting on himself. Usyk is betting on himself. Winner takes all. But there still hasn't been a decision made on the rematch. So as far as us sitting here saying the fight's going to happen 6 weeks from now, don't hold your breath. Because that rematch clause is a big, big deal. And it seems like Tyson Fury doesn't want to budge. And that's all I'm saying. He does not want to budge. Let me see what else I want to get to y'all about. Now, the next thing is, does Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk, does their fight rival Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia? When we look at it, which fight is bigger? And some say Ryan Garcia versus Tank, some say Usyk versus Tyson Fury. But that could be another issue. For this year, if the fight happens, which is going to be the biggest fight, the highest grossing fight? Now, I'm going to tell you this right now. Tyson Fury is protecting his own interests. That's why he's coming up with all these stipulations. But what I think Tyson Fury really wants, to have the sanctioning bodies come in and say, you guys are taking too long to make this fight. See, y'all need to understand something. Tyson Fury and Usyk, they don't have to fight. They are not each other's mandatories. You need to understand that. They don't have to fight. And these sanctioning bodies don't have time for the BS. Any day now, forget about getting a decision, hearing the decision on whether it's going forward or not, Tyson Fury and Usyk. Any day now, you can hear the sanctioning bodies come in and kill this whole thing. Tyson Fury knows that. And Usyk has to go and fight his mandatories. You got a bunch of mandatories. First up will be Dubois. And then Tyson Fury gets freed up and he can go back and work another deal out there with Saudi and fight somebody else. Could be Andy Ruiz because, Wilder, I don't know, it could be anyone, but Wilder's supposed to be, him and Ruiz supposed to be fighting for the mandatory shot at Fury. But we know how the WBC works. They'll let Fury do what he wants. I'm telling y'all, understand what's going on. Tyson Fury is not wanting to fight this man for peanuts. He knows those sanction bodies are coming to push a mandatory on him. And Tyson Fury is in a real good spot. A real good spot as far as a potential opponent based on as far as the WBC. And Usyk is in a horrible spot. And we know Tyson Fury can do it, can go and fight anywhere against anyone and make real money. He's trying to get back to Saudi Arabia. So that being said, if Tyson Fury was to fight Usyk, let's say the fight goes through, and he was to fight Usyk in the UK. Let's say Usyk outboxes him, right? What are the chances of Usyk pulling off a unanimous decision against Tyson Fury in the UK? I think it's highly unlikely. That'd be tantamount to when Manny Pacquiao fought in the Philippines and they robbed that Australian fighter years ago. And I think that's kind of what Usyk could encounter. Now, that being said, when it talks to Tyson Fury and these antics and contracts and everything, it's the same crap he pulled with AJ. You know, try to force unrealistic demands, deadlines, expectations on AJ here recently, and the fight wasn't able to make. They weren't able to make the fight. That's because of Tyson Fury. And Eddie Hearn wasn't in a rush to put Joshua in there, but it was Tyson Fury that caused those problems. But that being said, I just think y'all need to understand Tyson Fury is only interested in himself, his own interests, and his number one interest right now is getting dough, right? I like Tyson Fury, but I don't like what's going on. I just don't like what's going on. But at the end of the day, his greed is what caused him and Usyk to lose out on huge money. And now he's trying to do everything he can, not to make the fight, to make it impossible for Usyk to agree. And Usyk is like, okay, I see what you're doing. I'm going to agree to everything. Greedy belly. Belly. That's how Usyk is approaching him. And Tyson Fury is getting frustrated. So he's like, okay, the rematch clause. And I could kind of understand the rematch clause thing, but at the same time, if Usyk agrees to no rematch clause, Tyson Fury going to have to come up with something else. He is. Look, man, Sugar Hill's not there to train him right now. He's with a Coley. Look, it's just a lot. It's just a lot of things that are going on behind the scenes that make me believe this fight's not going to happen. But the big thing is stipulations. Usyk's going to always agree. Tyson Fury doesn't want a rematch clause. Now Tyson Fury is really looking at trying to get himself in position to just deal solely with the WBC mandatory, if there's one right now. We know Usyk and Wilder and Ruiz, who knows what they're doing. But Fury will be able to fight, probably a fight of his choice, in Saudi and make huge money instead of coming out and taking a risk against a guy like Usyk for little to nothing. But then Usyk gets screwed because he won't make anything near what Tyson Fury will make fighting a nobody in Saudi. Usyk fights a fight Daniel Dubois right there in probably in the UK. So it's very unfortunate. But I don't want to waste any more time on this video. I just want to give you guys those nuggets. So that's from where Greedy Belly derives. And this is where we are with Tyson Fury. And this is the direction I think that he's taking it. He's trying to get out the fight so he can get his butt back over to Saudi to make that big money. But I don't know if there's still a healthy relationship with the Saudis. I would think so, the way he was acting for his brother Tommy Fury's fight. And also, if they already have a backup plan, because Frank Warren was on a phone call during an interview, and the guy who was calling was the backup opponent in case Usyk falls out. So that lets you know already that they're already looking forward as far as what's next for Tyson Fury. And I'm telling you, if it doesn't happen, don't be surprised if he ends up fighting in Saudi against somebody who will be surprised at the opponent and he makes real money compared to what he'd be making at Wembley. And that's what I think is going on. Just my opinion. But that being said, y'all keep cool. Greedy Tyson Fury messed up Usyk's money. That's horrible. And he messed up his own. But he really messed up Usyk, boy. Because Usyk, I would have liked to see Usyk make a little $40 million. But whatever. But we'll see what's going to happen. You know, always something different with these guys. That being said, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans. Greedy Belly messed it up. I'm in the breeze.